Welcome to Ma's Garage,
I'm Kev.
I'm Crick.
and I'm Smokey. Today's topic, instincts and morality.
So grab a log.
And join us by the fire.
Look at our
Mhm.
social media and how many you're scrolling through and just photos of sexy women that you're following or like whatever thing of sport organization that you're following. And you're just like, yep, sex sells. Oh yeah, that got me.
Well, that's been going on since the 40s and the 50s.
Oh, it's been
Yeah,
going on
probably
a lot
even
longer than
earlier.
that.
Yeah, that's true.
Probably way back in the day when like cave women,
Oh yeah.
but probably as a society when women could show their ankles.
Again. Because I'm sure that
Yeah.
it's not like women's ankles were hidden until the 1960s.
Oh my
Right.
gosh, women have ankles? This is amazing.
That brings in the call of prostitution too. Like one of the oldest running businesses that
Mhm.
got pretty much like shut down because of
Eradicated.
the church. And
Yeah.
I was watching
That's because
something
the church
recently.
had such a strong hold on our society and it doesn't anymore.
Right, because they said it that ruins mortality or morality. Knew I was gonna
Mhm.
mess it up at one point. But I was watching this thing about Japan where they said that they had up until like the right around World War II, right after World War II, they had a brothel style setup all throughout Japan, and it was common practice to go to brothels and have big celebrations and things there. And because they didn't want to look bad to Western culture. And so that's where they started eliminating, they put in a law where you could no longer have prostitution. Still goes on, but
Yeah,
now
I'm
it's a
I'm
law
sure
that
it's
you
just
can't.
hush.
It's the
hush.
underground.
Yeah.
I mean, over in Japan, you can literally eat sushi off of a naked woman.
We're gonna have Botox shots flying around the office, as well as sushi strippers for all you boys and girls.
It's like Showdown in Little Tokyo.
Heck yeah.
I don't know if they have men. I've never asked.
the thing there is, so that was part of it. There are male prostitutes there. And a lot of monks apparently.
Interesting.
It's forbidden. That was a weird thing too. It's forbidden for them to have sexual relations with a woman because they're supposed to control their urges. But with
they
a
don't
dude,
say about a man.
yep, then that's fine.
Wow, that's a loophole.
a loophole. The thing is though, is like,
oh my gosh.
it's the same thing with cannabis and stuff though too, is when you drive something underground like prostitution, all you're doing is hurting the parties involved, because
Mhm.
when you have prostitution underground, then you have pimps and you have people doing
Mhm.
human trafficking, because it's not regulated, it's not watched. They can't go to somebody because they feel like they're a criminal.
There's no money to
So-
be gained in taxes.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's
It's-
that reason why our society is messed up as it is and how much of an influence it has.
Right. That's where I feel like we really should restructure and look at more why we do things instinctually, and stop acting like we're these perfect cardboard cutouts of this image that we thought we had, and be like, okay, no, this is humans. This is the things that they want to do. How do we hone that in? How do we make that better? How do we make
Let's
that
make the most out of everybody's situation, right? And
Right, like
everybody's
how-
skill sets and
How can we
wants.
actually bring the best out of as much people?
right? Instead of acting like it doesn't happen, acting like people don't think like that. Like,
And that probably goes back to the instincts. Quit trying to suppress everybody's natural instincts and allow them time and a chance and opportunity to grow and flourish those instincts in a positive way.
right.
That person that's jacking off on that park bench, they just need to yank it.
I mean, for real, what damage are they doing to people?
Well, I mean, the only part is that kids, like, I guess adults, they know what that's going on, but a kid shouldn't. I don't know. I would want
Daddy, that guy's got a really big blanket,
to.
like really tall.
Hey, what's going on under that blanket?
You'll never know.
Can we get one too?
Sure, buddy. It's called the teepee. We'll put one up in the
Right.
backyard.
I'm going to teach you
Yeah.
about
It forces parents to get
Native
creative.
American.
That's true, because that's the same thing with nudity. It's the same thing with like women being able to show their breast in public, because we've sexualized breast,
Mhm.
and that's why we're saying they can't see them in public. But that's because that's a conversation that you should have with your child. You know, like that.
Right.
So what's the best way to avoid that conversation? Make it so nobody can show their breasts in public. There we go.
Exactly.
Problem avoided instead of problem
And
solved.
now you've got Colorado and New York and probably soon California and Florida.
Yeah. I think
maybe,
that brings
maybe Texas, but they're probably a little too conservative.
depending on the area. Yeah. That brings up a big word with it, is shame. Like shame is a big thing that comes
Mhm.
from that, from even religion. There was
Religion's one of the worst, I feel like, at
Yeah.
shaming people.
Then all you have to do is go to church, light a candle, and pray to some stupid little statue for me, and all is forgiven and forgotten, right, Mom? Then you can spend your days in a guilt-free pursuit of more constructive activities, like telling everybody else how screwed up their lives are. And then you no longer need the patience and understanding required in order to talk to your own son on some normal plane. And that way you don't even need to think about how tough it was for you when you were growing up.
Jeremiah, what has gotten into you?
I just lost my virginity in a confessional booth! Lord, have mercy!
I had to unlearn so much stuff from the shame. Like that.
Nowadays, a lot of people say that they just don't have any shame.
I feel like to some extent it's good. It's like there's benefits to having a little bit of those filters on. There's
Oh, yeah.
benefits just not giving in fully to every instinct that you have, to every idea that pops in your head, to every little thing that goes through your mind. Doesn't mean you always should act on
Have
it.
a little bit of
Thoughts are
self-control.
Right.
versus
That's
Right.
giving into impulse all the
That's
time.
essentially what that filter should be, is that conscience, that second thought.
Yes.
thoughts. Right. It's because that goes into, yeah, if you're jerking it in public to take care of yourself, that's one thing. But if you're doing it and sitting there staring at somebody while you're doing it, you're doing it to make other people feel uncomfortable, like, and you're doing it in an attacking manner, then yeah,
Chasing after somebody.
yeah, like running, just like doing your thing.
Think about
like-
those people that like wear trench coats and flash in public.
right.
See, and that's going out with menacing intent.
I don't understand what the whole fix of that is.
I think it's part of that. It's that shame. It's like, I'm taught that this is a bad part of me and that I know I'm not supposed to. You're telling me I'm not supposed to do this. So it feels good to do this. And, you know, that can be traumatic though. That can be traumatic for people who are flash, for people who are like exposed to that and don't want to be. They feel violated.
They
They
do.
feel like I had that with I had that with a neighbor at one point who would walk around in their nude with all
In
their
their yard?
blinds and stuff up. No, in
Oh,
their
no.
house with all their blinds up, which I shouldn't be looking over that way. But when all your lights are in your house and the houses are like this, and you just look out your window,
Is there?
is there. And it's partially my fault too, because if they were probably gorgeous, I wouldn't have cared as much. But the thing is it hurt my vision a little bit, you know? So that's on me too. So that's, you know,
See, and that's the thing. You can't be picky. Either everybody's got to do it or nobody gets to do it.
yeah.
If everyone exercised their impulses and did it, it would be a really messed up world out there. We'd have a lot more acceptance, but you'd be seeing people in public spaces all day.
How long do you think it would take if nudity and sexuality just became, you can do whatever you kind of want wherever you want? How long do you think it would take for that to normalize, to that just become in every part of the day?
I think there would be wars.
Yeah, there'd be sides that would always be fighting.
Yep.
Like, cover yourself up, expose yourself.
Because I mean, you've got the weirdos too, like you were saying, the guy chasing after people, but then you've got the guys, they're the people chasing after kids and stuff too, who go too far,
Mhm.
right?
Someone's always going to sexualize it.
I do think, honestly, maybe beat off stations are like important. Maybe they should install those around places. No
Yeah.
windows, so you can't be some creep at the park. But
Every single sports stadium needs to have at least 5 beat off stations adjacent to 2 sections. And there has to be times, because when you go to these sports events and you see the sexy ass girls that you're not with, and you're just, oh, section 508, seat 2.
There's like a line like 10 guys deep outside of it. And you're, like,
right,
you're really hoping that you're at the front of the line, so you have the least amount of like cleanup and other things around you before you get in there.
Oh god.
you want it to be as uncomfortably small as possible to make sure 2 people don't try to go in there together.
Mhm.
Right.
But at the same time, why not have one for 2 people? Because
Well,
so
then
many
that's
people
where you
hook up
bring
in
them home.
bathrooms
That's where you
anyway.
go home.
you never let them touch.
Yeah,
But-
because then that opens them up to lawsuits. I mean, somebody gets an STD from the last guy who was in there, wasn't
But I
even
mean,
involved in
That
the
guy
get
gets
together.
an STD. My
The
god.
thing is, though, especially certain relationships, sometimes when you gotta strike when the iron's hot. You know what I mean? Like that fire might not be there by the time they get home.
Yeah, I mean,
You know, so it's
suppose that is a point.
it
Install
brings the
some
question.
booths.
Yeah. And people already use bathrooms at us anyway. So if you don't know what's going on there, at least you know what's going on. It's the
Yeah.
same thing. Then you can
Uh.
regulate it. Then you can sanitize it. Then you understand what you're getting yourself into by going
The
in there.
devil you know,
I
right?
think we
Right.
went into that public bathroom. I can't remember if we were in Colorado or where we were. I want to say this is when we were visiting you, Crick, that I'm pretty sure we went into we go in there and it was just shit everywhere. And we found like a pair of like panties and like some like bottles of alcohol. I want to say it was when we were visiting you, but it might not be. And it
I
might
don't
be
remember that.
might be us going to another place around us. I just can't remember 100%. It was disgusting.
It was a shitty bathroom.
You could, and you don't even know how long ago it was.
Right. How long that's been sitting there. I wonder if you gave people that form of a possible release, though. Same thing with if you had legalized prostitution and had it regulated, if you'd have less violence and aggression, if you gave people a release in that form,
Legalized prostitution.
which they
What
haven't.
what are you two doing in this car? Just fucking, officer. Carry
All
on.
right, carry on. Do you need
Carry
someone to
on.
film it? No, okay,
I-
all right.
I'm really good at angles. I can
Yeah.
hold the camera.
I'll show you some of my other work.
This was just yesterday on 4th and 8th.
That's
Sorry.
what
Nice people.
Sarge, I'm gonna need 30. Yeah, got another 609.
it's like what's his name says in Wolf of Wall Street, where he's talking about you have to, like, he does it every day because he has to release that aggression, release
Yeah,
that
you're
beast, like,
releasing those demons.
I do it because I need to. Think about it. You're dealing with numbers all day long. Decimal points, high frequencies, bang, bang, bang. Digits, all very acidic, above the shoulders, mustard shit. Right? It kind of can wig some people out. Right? You got to feed the geese to keep the blood flowing. And keep the rhythm below the belt.
Done.
This is not a tip. This is a prescription. Trust me. If you don't, you will fall out of balance, split your differential, and tip the fuck over. Or worse yet, I've seen this happen, implode.
No, I don't want to implode, sir.
No, you don't.
yeah, because I used to do that. I try to go like weeks with it doing nothing, and I'd get so just on edge and so primal and so
Mhm.
just like, and it's like, that's what a lot of people say. They try to quit, they become assholes because you need that release. You need
You
to not be
do.
so built up with testosterone and all that other bullshit. Just,
The
take care of
problem
it.
these days is that you can have that release literally at any time, anywhere, from the convenience of your phone.
Right. Yeah, porn is so easily
And
accessible.
you need to have that restraint.
that's moderation again.
That's like everything else. Yeah.
That's where I feel like church try to do that, but it's like we do with a lot of our stuff. They push it to one extreme and this
So
other
then
extreme.
we went to the other.
Yes, you have to find that middle ground where it's like express
Yeah,
yourself.
it's okay.
Yeah, but
She's
don't do it
like-
every day.
Wait. It's bad to get my ate out by a person that's not my husband.
He might be
Right.
down
I
with
kind of
that.
I kind of want to see how that other person. I mean, I know what my husband can do. I want to see what this other person can do.
That's the thing now. Cuckolds. That's a whole category now
It
where like
is.
people love to watch their spouse be pleasured by somebody else. I don't understand it, but that's their thing. I don't. Same thing with like homosexual sex. I was like, I don't have to understand it, but it doesn't matter to me. That's not.
And to the best of my understanding
affect
of
me.
it, it's because of a lack of confidence in themselves.
Could
A
look at
lack
it
of
almost as like a
lack
study
of
too.
confidence in being able to satisfy their significant other to the level that the other person can.
So maybe that's what you do. You sit there and watch them. You study it and see what they do, and it's like,
Right.
okay, you see it from a
Start
different perspective.
Taking some note. You see them there just with their notebook. Hey, I got a question over here. I'll let you finish.
I'll let you finish. That's kind of endearing though, if you think about it. Like if you know that you can't satisfy them and you can't service them, and that's something they need, so you're allowing somebody else to who you think can. You care more about them getting what they want than your own personal need to be the one to do it.
And I guess when you look at the heart of it, you're doing what you enjoy, they're doing what they enjoy.
Mm-hmm. And maybe you're building a strong relationship that because you have that trust and that you can control that jealousy in that aspect. Like,
See, my biggest fear about that, think about like a cold relationship and the girl is getting gangbanged. What's stopping all those people from turning on you?
gangbanging you?
No, not gangbanging you. But, oh, hey, we're going to beat the crap out of you and kidnap your girl.
Well, because that's crime at that point.
Yeah,
It is.
went to
But
a very dark
I mean,
place.
I guess that's why I guess they probably have extensive filtering processes. They're not just
Well, there's a
okay,
lot of
babe, okay,
swinger
babe, let's
clubs
go
now,
go down
too.
to the club and let's find you a gangbang.
Right.
There's-
Let's just pick random people off the street.
There's a lot
That's
of
probably a very
these
extensive
get-togethers for
filtering
swingers.
process.
You know, people go to houses where there's just like 10 groups of swinger couples.
Mhm.
Fishbowl
So you
parties or
network,
something it's
yeah.
called.
Yeah,
I think
you
that's a little
network.
bit different though. That's multiple groups or
It is, but
multiple
that's how you can.
couples.
That's how you can pick your people
Yeah,
to come
I
and
see.
do the
Yeah,
gangbang. You network.
these people have similar interests. I've fucked her, so I know that she can work really well.
That's I've been watching more of those AMAs that ask me anything's on Reddit, and they talk about that, and people talk about with the groups, and they say it's really important about the people that you have in there, because if people aren't respectful and people are jealous, it can ruin the whole experience.
Yeah.
It
Oh,
can
yeah.
make the whole thing terrible. It's just like any party. If there's someone's being an asshole at the party, you're gonna
They're
ruin
going
the
to be
party.
a negative
Yeah.
vibe. So,
yeah.
hey, bro, you're not vibing at the same level that we are. We either need you to, or we need you to take your vibe elsewhere.
Leave the orgy.
You've been
You
banned.
have been shunned.
No.
I guess I'll just go join another one.
But this
Until
is
they
the
get
most
banned from that
prestigious
one.
one in this county.
You think you have the most prestigious one? Our society is crazy.
It is. It's crazy how many people are
It's-
closeted their craziness too. Like they did.
Mhm.
It's not all the way in the closet. They pull it out every once in a while, but how much is
Yeah.
unknown?
I think it's the reaction that they receive when they pull it out of the closet that they just feel like it's not something that they can safely talk about.
Right. You poke your head out of the shell, and then someone criticizes it, and then you put your head right back in the shell. Like,
Yep.
that's for me. I went to a Christian school up until I was in 3rd grade. It took me over 20 years, and
To
I'm still
unlearn.
trying to shed some of the shame that was put on me from decisions that I make that just make me human. That you get, my principal at my school got caught having an affair with the receptionist. Yet they're telling us that, control all these things, do all this stuff, instead of explaining. No one explained that to me. No one explained that
Some
situation.
stereotypes
Do as I
just
say, not as I
play
do.
themselves out.
Right. It's accept people as humans, and we're flawed and we make mistakes, and sometimes it isn't the greatest thing. Maybe maybe that was a emotion. Maybe you ruined a long-term relationship because you let your hormones get ahead of you and you made a mistake in that. And that could ruin your life. You may not be happy about the decision of it. Like some people call it post-nut clarity. It's after you've busted that nut, you understand so much more that I shouldn't have done that. That was just my hormones talking.
That pressure finally got released and you could think clearly.
But it's done.
Mhm.
You can't take it back. You can't go back in time.
Yeah.
All you can do is live with your choices
and learn from it. And learn to not feed that monster.
And that's why so many people, the guilt just eats at them from like the second it happened.
Right.
And they just run back to their, oh, I'm so sorry. I caved at this point. But then they divorce. They're like, I can't trust you.
And sometimes
you had this one urge. We've been together for 18 years. I can't trust you.
Some relationships make it past that. Someone can understand that the love is more, and that's an instinctual act.
Mm-hmm.
You are overtaken by hormones, and it doesn't make me happy. And I don't know if I can trust you to be in situations like that. But our love is more than that. This thing that we see that we feel deeper down is more than this one interaction. Can we get past that? And then it goes into, is this continual? Are you gonna keep...
Like, is this going to happen again?
Right.
Now that it's happened once. I think that's probably the biggest fear that people have. I just kind of think about it like that episode of Family Guy. Well, Peter, you slept with her, so now or Lois, you slept with him, so now Peter's gonna go sleep with Babs, your mom. She's hot. Sue me.
Right.
But even that, Lois, I can't do it. Our love is too strong and I don't even care.
Mm-hmm.
But then he goes,
Hey, listen, Bill, you and I need to have a talk. Boy, you are good. You are really good.
Hormones are a hell of a thing.